my name is Lisa Slevka. This is my horse Duke, and today we're going to go over how to correctly saddle and unsaddle your horse. First of all, you want to make sure your horse is groomed well and make sure there's nothing underneath their girth area and nothing really on their back. Because if you get dirt underneath your saddle pad and eventually underneath your saddle, it can rub them raw, and obviously that would be very uncomfortable, causing what we call saddle sores. The first tool I'm going to put on his back, he's already been groomed. The first tool I'm going to put on his back is a saddle pad. There's several different types of saddle pads. I have shoulder inserts in mine. There's cotton, there's sheepskin, there's all sorts of pads. It just kind of depends on the preference and how your saddle fits your horse. So first things first is you always want to make sure it's up on the withers correctly. You don't ever want it too far back, and you don't ever want it up here because you're not riding up there and it won't actually do anything good. So we just set it right in the middle of their back, right up aligned with their withers. Some horses have more withers than others. He has not very big ones, so it works out nice. The next part of saddling a horse is obviously just putting the saddle on their back. There are several different types of saddles depending on the sport you want to go into versus if you're an equestrian or if you're doing more western riding with barrels or pleasure or reining or anything along that. I have a barrel saddle. This is obviously a western tack, so I'll show you how to put that on. You want to make sure it's setting right in the middle, aligned with your saddle pad, because if it's a little off kilter, you're going to be pulling on their withers, and as you can see, it makes them a little uncomfortable. But you want to make sure everything's out from underneath of it and it's sitting directly on your horse's back. If it is sticking out, the likelihood of it bouncing on your horse's back while you're riding is a lot higher, and it'll make them a lot more uncomfortable. I use a rope girth. So there are several different types of girths for lots of different things. I use a rope one because I like how they work. You have nylon, you have just every different type of girth known to man. But I do prefer a rope girth because it allows them to expand a little bit more. It's on the other side of the horse. You would prefer not to turn around and put your hand this way, because if they kick, your head is probably going to get hit. So I always like to go underneath this way. And then I string it through. It's called the Texas T is my finish. You can just hook it into the little buckle there, pull it back, and have it secure. I just like to do a little extra security, so I do what's called the Texas T, or what I call the Texas T. And it's basically like you're tying a tie. You're going to go through, across the front, through the back, maybe, and down the middle. And that for me just offers a little more security, so if the buckle lets go, I don't want the whole girth falling off my horse while I'm riding. The next thing I have is a breastplate. Some events use it, some don't. It's the window. Anyway, obviously it's called a breastplate because it goes right across their breast. You don't want the breast collar too loose, because then they could risk stepping on it or it dropping over the shoulder. So you want to just kind of get a nice even balance of right in the middle of his chest, and not too terribly tight to where it's choking him. And we have our strap down here, which usually you'll put on the very first latch of your girth, which is right in the middle of your horse's sternum, just for more of a support. This is just, you want to make sure this isn't too terribly loose, because if it hangs down too low while they're running or they're loping or doing whatever, in my instance running, they'll get their foot caught, and that's never good. Hopefully it would snap. I also have a wither strap, and it's just to kind of hold it up so it doesn't sink down below the point of shoulder. If it does, it kind of blocks you from being able to saddle a barrel horse with a barrel tack. Now to unsaddle, you're going to go the exact opposite direction. So you're going to start with underneath the girth. Alright, next you're going to undo your girth after you've undone your breastplate. It's as simple as pulling the Texas T forward and out, then down. Then you're going to undo your clip here, and you're just going to simply pull it out. From there, you'll just kind of hook everything up to where it looks nice and neat. And then you'll just take it off, and when you set a saddle on the ground,